Hi, I'm Jim and this is J&R Woodworking, and I had some questions on how is the best way to align your blade on your table saw. And I want to show you how I do mine and maybe give you some ideas. Let me turn the camera around and get it down so you can see what I'm doing and we'll get going on it. Okay, I've got my insert out and this is what I use, a dial indicator. A lot of people use one of these, or they try to. You hook it in the table slot. They hook it in the table slot and try to feel where the blade is. That's not a good way at all. The best way to do it is with a dial indicator. Now I've got a tooth marked so I can rotate the blade. Now these blades are a thin kerf, and because they're thin, they're kind of flimsy. So watch the indicator. It's kind of hard to get it set straight when it wiggles around that bad. Now I'm on about 2.5 thousandths there, and if I come over here, that moved over a little bit. Now I'm on the tooth. Now I'm 7 thousandths the opposite way. So that means I'm 9 thousandths out of square. That's the way they tell you to align your blade, by using the blade. Well, if that's the best you have, I guess that's all you can do. But the point between where I'm touching here and the point over here is only 5 inches. Now, the longer you can stretch that out, the more accurate measurement you're actually going to get. So let me show you what I use to indicate my blade, or I should say my arbor. We have to take this off. Now I put a question out there last week, or last video, if anybody could guess what this is for. I have 2 of them. This is the original one I made because my Craftsman table saw had a 2-inch blade arbor that held the blade on. So I could get away with this being 2 inches wide. Well, this saw has a 2.5-inch blade flange, so I had to go to a bigger gauge. We slip this down in here, put the flange on, and try to get the nut on without dropping it. Now the difference between these 2 points that I'm going to have between here and down here is 20 inches. So if we had almost 10 thousandths run out in 5 inches. So I should end up theoretically with almost 40 thousandths run out. Let's see what we actually have. I'll put this on 0. And we'll run this down here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but now I have 2/1000 run out. We'll put that on 0 again, and we'll come down here. It's about 1.5. That, I think, is about as close as you're going to get it, and you'll never get it that close using a saw blade. These I came up with quite a while ago, especially that 2-inch wide one. And I did have a comment once asked me if I'd make these and sell them. I suppose I could. I never really had any interest in it, but if you want to align your saw blade accurately, this is about the only way you can really do it. Now the next video, well, not the next one. The next video is going to be on my ultrasonic cleaner. I've had a lot of comments. How's it work? You've had it for a month. That's going to be the next video. The video after that is going to be hopefully with my boss explaining how he made this coffee end table. It's an end table with my Lee dovetail jig. He's got all kinds of samples that he's tried different ways, and he's finally got it figured out, and he's made the sides of the coffee end table. I keep thinking it's a coffee table. And hopefully we're going to get him over here and explain what he went through and how he did this. And I'm not going to say much more on it. I'll let him tell you that. But this is how I align my blade. I do not recommend using a square. It just is not accurate enough. These thin blades that we use today don't have a lot of set in them. So if your blade is not lined up almost perfect, you're going to get hash marks on the side of your boards when you rip them. I don't ever have that problem. To set up my fence, to square that, I do it the same way. I use the indicator and it slides in the T-track, I guess you want to call it, because this one actually is a T-track. And that's how I line up my fence. And that is about the same distance. I think I can run that about 25 inches, and it's within 1/1000. So that's how I do mine, and I hope this helps you or gives you some ideas, at least how to line up your saw to get the best performance out of it that you can, or get the best performance out of it that you expect to get from a high quality machine. So until next time, please subscribe, work safe, and I'll talk to you soon. So long.